Probably because like it loves you and wants to spend more time with you.
Spite.
There, I think there we go. That's better. Now it's showing up.
Although that would make for a funny kind of audio cast where we all just say things and react to things and no one hears you. That would be kind of funny.
No, it sounds like it would be a funny idea. It's not. Our first like 3 Alien games are like that.
They really were.
So, yeah, it's one of those things that sounds like it would be a funny concept, but it's really not. Oh well, live and learn. Yay, technology. Okay, so yes, so for a recap, since it has been a month since we played, and in that intervening month, we've had a couple of birthdays for some of our players. So happy belated birthday to both Bea and Jessica.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So yes, you guys have made your way to the Mithril mines. Both to see about restarting the forges that are apparently in the mine complex somewhere, as well as the dwarves back in Astoria had requested if you can find anything of their fellows who had fallen here during the when the curse took hold. They would like to give their fellows a proper burial. You met up with some centaurs along the way who did not seem to be part of Sidon's forces. They seem to be, they seem to have more of a kinship with Agrias. They seem to be more independent and not following the will of the Dark Lord. And they did manage to impart some information to you about the curse. How Letharia had made a deal with the Fates to unleash something from the underworld into the mines, a Cerebus Hound. As you made your way through the mines, you encountered some troglodytes, including the self-styled king of the troglodytes, who was very intelligent for his ilk. After some violent negotiations and a small-scale genocide on the troglodytes, you found that the reason for his intelligence was the circlet that he wore on his head, a magical circlet that boosted one's intelligence, which I believe Arathius has.
Yeah.
Perfect. Making your way out of the troglodyte warrens and into the more worked dwarven area of the mines, you encountered a long-dead, gigantic 3-headed dog and a couple of much smaller 2-headed puppies in what appears to have been a dwarven common room at one point. There are some dwarf skeletons scattered about because I believe last time we finished off, you guys had just defeated the 2-headed dogs, but had not yet had a chance to kind of look around the room. So I believe that's where we are.
Yep, cool.
So as you kind of catch your breath after dealing with these small 2-headed dogs, it does in fact seem to be a common room. There are a couple of bed chambers off of the main room, as well as a completely blocked in tunnel that looks like it would require several months and significant excavation gear to clear out to the point where you could traverse it. But off of this room, there is also what appears to be some sort of small room with chains running through 4 corners, through holes in the floor and the ceiling. To Arathius, with his newfound intelligence, it looks like it's some sort of mechanical device that perhaps ascends and descends. Around the room, there are probably 24 dwarven skeletons. Obviously, ones that were here when the Cerebus Hound was unleashed from the underworld. And one of them is wearing a very, very finely made, very lightweight metallic chain shirt.
More mithril?
Yes, it does look very similar to the mithril stuff that you have before. It is dwarven sized, but it is a finely made mithril chain shirt.
Well, I'll wrap it up and put it in the backpack with the other stuff.
I don't think we have anyone quite. I mean, we have someone small enough, but I'm pretty sure it would just fall right off of her.
Yeah, not wide enough would be the question.
No. Well,
Stout.
I think. No, I was thinking more of Helena. I think she'd just sort of go right through the neck of it
I'm
if we
not
slipped it on
sure.
over her.
My wings might catch it.
Maybe. But then your wings would be trapped inside the chainmail, and that sounds uncomfortable.
Not
it
as
un-
long as
would it
they're
be a-
folded up, I don't think.
My thought was basically to collect whatever mithril scraps we do find, and perhaps it can be reforged into something useful to us.
Yeah, very
That's
true.
probably a better idea.
I mean, we do know someone who can do the forging.
Yeah, especially once we have the forge.
Yep.
I agree. He's gonna poke around in one of these side rooms, see if there's anything of interest.
Give me an investigation. Ooh, very nice. So as Agri's looking around, like the beds and everything in here are like long since rotted and decayed. But you do find in one of the rooms there is a small sack. The sack is the sort of thing where, like, when you go to move it, it starts to like flake off in your hands. You realize that it's probably not going to last very long. But inside it, there are 65 drachma, so 65 silver. And you do notice as well with that roll, one of the dwarven skeletons has a very nice golden ring with a purplish gem inset into it. Looks like it's very, very well cut and faceted.
So yeah, I'll gesture over to the party and say, "Found some gold, or found some drachma, and that one there has a golden ring. However, be wary of taking things from the dead."
Doesn't always turn out well. That being said, though, Sophia will sort of take a quick look through the other room, since she's right beside it.
Yeah, it's definitely like well rotted by this point. You kind of like flip over a mattress and parts of the mattress come off in your hand, and I don't see anything of any use or any value in here.
Are we planning to rest soon?
If we are, this is a relatively defensible area.
We took our long rest not that long ago.
Did we?
Yeah,
Did we? Because I'm at 3 hit points.
because of the dogs.
Yeah, you guys did set up a little bit of a camp outside after you dealt with the troglodytes before coming into the
We
dwarven
did
work
too.
area.
That was
it's been a busy hour or so.
That's been a painful hour, so.
I will check that other room just for the giggles, I guess.
I'll have a look at the ring that Agri found.
Helena, you look around. It looks like the only things between these three rooms, the only thing of any import or value is the chain, the mithril chain on one of the dwarves, the coins, basically the stuff that Agri has found. He's done a pretty thorough investigation.
Okay.
Deacon, as you look at the ring, it doesn't look like you don't see. There's no sigil or anything to denote that it's like a family ring or anything of that nature. It looks like it's just a very finely made piece of jewelry. But you do recognize that the stone in it is an amethyst, so it might be worth some money.
Nice. Well,
Valuable as opposed to heirloom.
Exactly.
Does anyone have any objections if I just gave a pack meal for the party?
Yeah,
Huh?
if you'd like to. I have no objection to that.
Prevents.
We're all in this together.
Just don't let me fall down a cavern or something.
Also, Jess's computer just blue screened.
Oh,
Uh-oh. That's not good. Does anyone else need healing? Thought if I was going to do some, I might as well do as much.
Not really. I was behind most of the fight, just shooting. I wasn't being eaten by 2 dogs at a time.
All right. Well.
Yeah, I'm down 11.
They really didn't like you, Sophie.
No, they didn't. Or maybe they liked me too much.
Maybe.
They probably figured they were getting a beef dinner.
Oh, that's terrible.
I know.
All right. Well, I'll do a prayer of healing.
Okay.
So I'm going to get set up with my go. Oh, it's just verbal. So she will take a knee. Or I guess both. She'll kneel. Just sort of spread her hands out to her sides, lower her head, and start praying quietly.
yeah. So if you click on the spell, it should roll the healing for you.
Yeah, it's the other D&D game I'm in uses Roll20, so naturally it's not built even remotely close to each other.
Alrighty. So as Sophia kneels down in the center of this carnage and begins praying, you all feel this warmth envelop you, and anybody that needs healing can get 11 hit points back.
Yep, because they're...
Just exactly what I needed. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Hey
I
guys,
do, Nick.
I managed to connect via my phone, so
Okay.
my computer is completely dead. Like, it keeps restarting on its own, so I cannot see the map, but I have a physical copy of my character sheet and I have my phone, so that's what we're gonna do.
Okay.
Oh dear.
As long as the magic smoke hasn't come out of your computer yet, it's theoretically repairable.
Yeah.
Once the magic smoke
We're-
comes out, though, that's when you're lost.
We're not there yet. My computer's a little old, and I really think it just doesn't like Windows 10.
That's entirely possible.
So, because this is the second time that it's just died. Either that or it doesn't like Discord, because it seems to be okay with Zoom.
Yeah, that could be. Discord does have a little bit of a heavier footprint than Zoom does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
with the
My old laptop
Streamline
doesn't like
update,
it
it's
either.
still heavy.
So we'll see how this goes.
Well, what I usually do is I have Discord running on my phone because I don't have any microphone on my computer. I don't have any microphone stuff, so therefore I just run the Foundry on my computer, and then I do every voice on Discord.
Oh, that makes
Yeah.
sense. That might be what I have to start doing, because we've got the computer back up and running with just Foundry, and I think maybe we'll just leave Discord on the phone.
Yeah, that it works for me really well.
Alrighty. So you guys are taking 10 minutes as Sophia does her prayer of healing. And you guys are fairly soon, but by the time she's done her prayer, like I said, this kind of like warm healing energy kind of invigorates all of you. But it's weird. The only way you can really describe it is you feel somebody smiling at you.
That's never a good sign.
But it's tied in with that warmth.
So it's a pleasant feeling as opposed to an ominous feeling.
Someone smiling at me, that's dangerous.
Yeah, it's like it's like that feeling you get, when you've just visited family or something and you're going, and that kind of reminder of their smile, as opposed to like the creepy stalker smile of somebody watching you while you're asleep.
That's assuming you like your family.
Yes, assuming you like your family.
Okay.
It's a very important distinction.
I thought so.
So off of this kind of central dwarven chamber, you do know that there's a couple of avenues that you didn't take because you kind of just headed straight this way. There is the mechanical device that as far as Arathis can tell goes up and down.
Yeah, we haven't been the down way, but theoretically that's probably where, when we passed under the bridge, I'm assuming eventually we'll get to there by going down.
Perhaps. And actually, Arathius, give me a perception check.
Wouldn't I know because of the labyrinthine... labyrinthian? What's it called?
Good. My dice luck remains consistent.
You guys still have a long way to go before you reach the epic levels of the Shadow of the Demon Lord game.
Oh yeah, that's... Oh man.
I've never seen a game hate the players so much.
We'll roll really, really well on completely inconsequential things and absolutely flop when death is on the line. Yeah, it's so horrible.
Maybe there's something written in its algorithm.
God, it's so bad.
Right.
So I have advantages on skill checks made to solve maze-like puzzles.
Okay.
So would that apply? I mean, to me, a labyrinth is exactly the sort of, tunnels and paths going back and forth thing that is typical inside an underground space like this.
So yeah, you haven't seen anything that looks like it leads further down other than that big giant shaft that you passed by on your way to this room, and this mechanical device. You didn't see any stairs. The floor didn't have a downward slope. So backtracking will probably not lead downwards.
Yeah.
No,
Oh.
but I'm
Or
just
is that-
thinking. I'm just thinking more that there are other rooms. Because did we check the rooms that are to the south?
Yeah, we
No.
went through everything in the troglodyte area. We haven't gone through the dwarven halls yet.
Correct. So yeah, you guys basically, you were making your way, and you went up onto this little bridge, and you do know that you guys headed directly north when you entered the bridge. Where you came up onto the overpass, there was stuff to the west, and there was a hallway to the east that you bypassed on your way to this big central room. So there's definitely stuff behind you that you haven't explored.
Yeah, sadly, that was what I meant when I used the word down.
Oh, gotcha.
As
Okay.
looking at the map down. That's my bad.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about like the room that's got the little skeleton in it, and a bunch of
Yeah. As opposed to down as in there's a floor beneath this that we don't have the map for.
Right. I'm thinking
Okay.
more south of us, like the room with the skeleton, the little overpass with the dogs, the room with one dog, the room with two dogs, those spaces.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I don't
get
remember if we went down there or not.
We haven't
No.
yet.
We didn't.
No.
And we need to clean them out too before we decide to make camp and head
Yes.
down.
Yes.
So yeah, so as you guys are kind of pondering, did we do that? Didn't we do that? Can't remember. Arathi says you look at this this device. It is like a 10-foot metal cube inside, crafted from bronze, with the leering dragon heads engraved in the walls. The dragons are depicted with like open, snarling mouths.
Something tells me that this might actually be a transportation to the forge. Might be the dragons.
Or it's sketchy.
And you're fairly certain with your currently enhanced intellect that you can figure out how this thing moves. It has like a big bronze lever on it that is currently like in a forward position.
Okay.
Like an old-fashioned elevator.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm relatively certain that we can operate it. It's just we might want to make sure this floor is clear first.
Exactly.
We don't want to be on the run back.
And then run into something right outside this.
Yeah.
And just to confirm, we're also here for dwarven remains.
Yes, the dwarves back in the city in Astoria had mentioned that they would very much like to be able to put their fellows to rest.
All right. If there's any dwarven skeletons in here, Agri's slowly picking them up and putting them in his knapsack.
Overall, there's about 24 dwarven skeletons here.
Oh gosh.
Agri, why don't you
Yep.
just leave them in a central pile? We'll probably have to come back to this room if we want to get out of the forge.
Makes more sense. So yeah, we'll just put them in a pile here in a corner or something.
And Agri and Sophia can give me religion checks, since you both spent considerable time in temples growing up.
Ouch. Man. I'm apparently distracted by the bite marks around my ankles.
Well, that was clearly not meant to be.
It's okay, just getting all the bad rolls out now, that's all.
Yep, that's the theory. Let's hope anyway. This is the point where I would normally switch out my dice.
Alrighty. So, what would you guys like to do?
I'd like to. Sophia's going to start walking down that corridor to the south.
Okay.
Since it sounds as though we're pretty convinced that this little bronze room off to the east isn't going anywhere.
Not yet.
Not without us anyway. At least in theory.
Yeah, we have to operate it to go down, and the other way up to the north is completely blocked by rubble. So this is where we got to go.
All right. So you guys are making your way down the hallway. Every once in a while, you just kind of, you're astounded at the care and detail that has gone into the craftsmanship of these tunnels. Like every brick is perfectly aligned. The mortar work is immaculate. Like the reputation for the dwarves for craftsmanship is definitely on display.
An entire race with OCD.
Oh, they put a great deal of pride in their work.
True dat.
So you make your way down, and there is the tunnel continue, or the corridor continues forward or branches off.
All right. Well, I'm going to go into the branch.
Okay.
Anything in the hallway?
No. It is. I mean, every once in a while you can hear like the slow like drip 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 of water, and you can hear, you probably more feel the rumbling of the waterfall that is outside, indicating that you are getting closer to the waterfall side of things.
Ah.
And as you kind of make your way around the corner and take a little look, it looks like it was a storeroom. There's like long mildewed and rotted grains and things of that nature, like wheat and barley and oats. The bags have like ruptured and spilt over the floor, and some of them sprouted and some of them rotted, and it is in complete disarray.
Ravages of time or ravages of something else?
It looks like it's ravages of time. Like as the grain got damp, it expanded as it absorbs the moisture, and then that caused the bags to split, and then because it was damp, it rotted.
Okay. Well, we'll have a little look through here just to see if there's anything that looks remotely interesting.
Give me an investigation check. So yeah, as you're like looking through, kind of like, nudging your foot through some of the grains and everything. I mean, if you want to spend a couple of hours sifting through everything, but a fairly thorough but cursory glance doesn't turn up anything of note.
Okay. Do I see the little skeleton?
You see parts of the skeleton.
I'll go have a look to see if it's dwarven because we're collecting those for reburial.
Yes, it is. It is a mostly intact dwarven skeleton. He's missing like one of his lower leg bones and the attached foot, and that's about it.
Okay, I'll just make mental note that it's there. And when we're all fairly certain we're safe in this area, we can go then drag it into the pile with the others.
Gotcha.
I come back out. Well, it seems to be some sort of an old storeroom. Most of the old grains have split and rotted over time. It doesn't smell the best. Agri, there is another dwarven skeleton in there. So when we decide we're pretty much safe for a bit, we can probably drag it back out and bring it with the others.
Okay.
You continue down the corridor back to the overpass. You do see kind of like standing on top of the overpass, taking up a good portion of it, is a very well crafted statue of one of those two-headed dogs.
That seems weird.
Yeah, what would that be in this section for?
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't naturally stone.
Ooh, I didn't think of that. Oh boy.
That's disturbing.
Agri's going to go up to it and attempt to smash off one of its heads.
Bit more care when turning corners now.
I agree. Give me I mean, I'm not going to make you actually roll the hit just in case you get a critical hit.
What about a critical fail?
You still can't miss a statue.
Yeah.
That's a relief.
Like you
so
said,
yeah,
get it out now, right?
Is it my imagination? Did it just dodge?
so yeah, you strike it with your scimitar, and it does like chip off a little bit of the stone.
Okay.
So when it comes back to life, it'll have a minor wound.
So you do realize that using a scimitar to smash the statue is
Not the best choice of weapons to use bladed on a solid object.
not the best tool for the job.
The lady with the hammer should have done it.
Hey, listen. Agri likes smashing.
Smart like horse.
That's fine. You can smash your shit.
Smart like horse.
How are you at kicking? I'm just
Not the
thinking.
stereotype.
I've seen horses kick dogs in very unpleasant ways for the dogs. I'm just wondering.
Yeah, that usually ends up in a broken jaw, doesn't it?
It usually does. Or a flying dog. Or a... Yeah, combination of the two. Broken ribs.
As you guys are sitting around discussing this, you see a couple more flakes fall off of this dog.
Ah, crap.
Smash it.
There's been no tremors or anything, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Hey, Sophia, hit it with the hammer.
She'll come down, step around behind it, and take a swing at it with the hammer.
Okay.
We'll see how it does.
Oh yeah.
So you swing it at the hammer, and as you do, like it impacts, and more of the stone flakes off, and you can see fur underneath the stone. And as it kind of like shakes like a dog drying itself off, little flakes of stone kind of like fly in all directions, and then this two-headed dog is standing there in front of you.
Does it seem agitated or snarling?
Yes to both.
I would be too if I had been encased in stone, but at least we know it's not something like a Medusa.
Ungrateful little bastard.
So everybody can roll some initiative.
Oh man.
Shouldn't it have like a modifier to its where it's been in stone so long?
Apparently things like thirst aren't an issue for a death dog. Oh, Deacon.
What are you?
Going so slow, it's almost like you're going backwards.
In time.
Um,
1960s sci-fi flashbacks.
A little bit.
so both of the heads just kind of like snap out, like almost reactionary towards Sophia. One of them catching her in the arm for 7 points of damage.
Ouch.
And a Constitution save.
Really? Even after all these years?
Constitution.
You're fine. Like as it bites into you, you feel this like burning sensation for its fangs sink into you, but then you just kind of like shrug it off.
You
Shake him off my leg. Ow!
doggy gonorrhea.
Bad dog.
And that will bring us to Helena.
Okay. I am going to tell the dog where to go. Vicious mockery.
Wisdom save, I believe.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's more like it.
Take 3 psychic damage, puppy, as I tell you where to go. Bad dog.
Very bad dog.
That will bring us to Arathius. As the dog, like one of the heads, kind of like snaps around to look at Helena and kind of like growl at her.
Well, that's no good. I mean, my tried and tested is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to Eldritch Blast, but that's no good.
Normally a 10 would miss, but it is still shaking off the last bit of lethargy from
Oh, lucky me. Here I am going, no, and that does still work. Wow.
I took off too much damage. All right. So the Eldritch Blast sinks into it as it's like continuing to kind of like get its senses about it. Agri.
Swing. Hopefully not get stoned this time.
Ugh.
Ugh.
So yeah, it kind of like shakes off the last bit of the stone and kind of like moves its hindquarters just out of the way enough. Sophia.
Yes. I'm going to take another swing at it because that hurt. I don't really want to get bitten again. So I'll just sort of swings the hammer down low and brings it up, kind of hopefully smashing it into one hip.
Oof.
18 that time.
So yeah, you kind of take advantage of the fact that its attention is turned on Helena and getting out of the way of Agri, and you bring your hammer kind of like where the neck joins between the two heads, and there is definite like shattering sounds of bone. It yelps in pain.
Good.
Deacon, you are up.
All right then. After I've figured out that we're in a combat, I will just kind of move in and stab it with my spear. Stabbing.
Taking advantage of this yelp of pain, and like it partly collapses under the hammer blow. Deacon manages to get into a position and like bring his spear kind of like through each of the necks, which looks really bad. But then when he pulls the spear back out, because of the way the spear head is shaped, it rips, and this thing just spurts blood and then drops.
Death dog kebabs, anybody?
Awesome.
Well, that's interesting.
Grab a rag and clean the blood off my spear.
I wonder if that was a limited curse or just the nature of time.
I wouldn't be surprised if something in here did it to it.
Maybe Mama got angry?
No, pretty sure Mama's what they were eating.
Ooh.
Sadly, there's way too many jokes for that statement.
I'm not sure what encases a creature in stone as opposed to simply turning it into stone.
Hey,
Well, like I
Chris.
said, it could have been a limited curse. Like something could have interacted with the curse to turn it back into flesh.
Hey, Chris.
Can I do a nature check to know that?
It would be an Arcana check or a religion check.
I was going to say,
I
I think
can
that
do
was
that.
I think that was the religion check we might have failed.
Ooh, Arcana.
Would there be anything in the historical record about such things?
Horathius knows what he's talking about.
Deacon can make a history check. The DC is going to be higher to find out something, but
Oh, you never know. Strange things don't happen.
yeah. Woof.
Bam.
Nice.
So both Arathius and Deacon, as you guys are kind of mulling this over, discussing it kind of out loud, Arathius starts to go like, it could be like a lesser curse or maybe a long ago curse that's running out, and Deacon's like, I've heard stories about. I mean, there's a variety of creatures that you've heard battlefield tales of that can turn mortals to stone. The Medusa being, kind of the most well known. But there's the basilisks and there's cockatrices and as you're saying this, Arathius, you're like, wait, cockatrices. It's like a temporary petrification. You don't know how long, but you know that they are specifically.
It's more like a poison curse. It runs its course eventually.
Exactly.
Oh dear.
So that seems between as the two of you kind of put your heads together, that seems to be the most logical explanation. It could very well still be like a curse from long ago that has run its course, but that seems to be like an outlier idea to the two of you.
All right. Watch out for chickens.
With lizard tails.
Here, lizard.
Did
Maybe
they
there's one
taste
in
good
here.
with barbecue?
No, I don't see one yet.
And as Arathis kind of peeks in this room, it's a square chamber. It looks like it was maybe a pen for some sort of animals at some point. There are cages made of wood that are broken open and scattered about. There's a statue of a troglodyte in the middle of the room, along with the statue of a two-headed dog. About a half dozen corpses of what appear to be very large chickens. And you also see one of the chicken things still alive that's like kind of like pecking at the ground and kind of like looks up as your shadow from Helena's light kind of like falls across the entranceway. It kind of looks up.
Hey, Deacon, it wasn't born a cockatrice, I think. But then again, maybe it was. Hello, little fella.
Careful.
And it just comes kind of like walking towards you, and you do notice that it does have it looks like a large chicken, like about the size of like a good sized hound dog. And it has definite reptilian like scales along with the feathers.
Yeah. I think we found the culprit. Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Does anybody know how to say shit in Greek?
I'm sure Google can help you.
And it just like lets out this
Son of a
horrifying squawking sound as it like launches and its beak pierces into Arathius for 3 points of damage and a con save.
Ouch.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
So as you like try to move out of the way, you feel your body starting to stiffen up.
That's not even the effect that the bard gives me.
So yeah, you can,
God.
and as you look, you can see like gray flecks starting to appear through your skin.
Yep, it's a cockatrice.
Well, on the plus side, we know you'll still be alive inside.
And the initiative roll to go with it.
So yes,
Yeah.
we will get folks to roll some initiative.
As it hit me, can I still rebuke?
Yes, absolutely can.
Oh, please go through.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
Wow.
There you go.
Damn.
So yeah, this thing like it launches. You guys like just see like this like blur of feathers and scale as something like launches out of that room towards Arathius. He kind of stumbles back, but as it gets its beak into him, there's this like flash of fiery energy, and the smell of like burnt feather is thick through the air. And this thing like it launches and it lands on its feet and it kind of like stumbles a little bit. It gets in it, and it's mostly just blackened, like practically a blackened husk at that point.
You know, Arathius, you're supposed to pluck the chicken before you cook it.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm still learning these things.
Dum-dum-dums.
Helena is up.
Oh, the damn thing's still alive?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Alright. I will yell, "Die, you stupid chicken!" See if that puts it over the edge. Nope. It's a smart chicken.
It is surprisingly wise.
Well, that's a good thing. Better to, make that save than the other one.
True. This is true. My damage isn't very much.
Agri.
Yeah, Agri's gonna go over and try and chop the chicken's head off.
Oh, come on. Go unarmed and choke the chicken. Thank you. I'm here all week.
Already didn't declare. That was great. I guess I'm not rolling harder than an 8 tonight.
Apparently not. Yeah.
Unless it's your initiative.
So it is going to try to bite Agri since it's actually surprisingly still alive.
It didn't see it coming either.
So yeah, it kind of backs out of the way of your scimitar, and then as you still got your arm outstretched, it like launches forward with the beak. For 5 damage, and you start to feel
Wow.
you start to feel everything kind of like stiffen up as well. Deacon is up.
Well, I'll attempt to stick my spear through it. Hopefully I have better luck than others.
Okay. An 11 is a miss. Oh, no, sorry. An 11 is a hit. So yeah, you just kind of reach around the corner. You're like, yeah, fuck that. And you kind of like lean back so it can't bite you and like stab your spear around the corner, and catch it right in the face.
Bark. Loosely translated, it's not the face.
I don't think we can make this thing any uglier.
We can try.
Well, I'm hoping that made it dead.
It did. Ignore that part where the new cockatrice showed up. It's just I forgot to actually end the combat and do XP. So.
Hey, look, a new cockatrice.
I'm slowly getting the hang of the automatic XP calculator that Foundry's got.
Sophia's going to catch up since we're not in combat now. Catch up to everyone else.
All right. So Sophia moves forward a little bit. End of Arathius' turn. I need you to make a Constitution save.
Me or Arathius?
Arathius.
There we go, baby. Still not a
Okay.
pass.
So as Sophia kind of moves forward, you see like Arathius is like kind of like reaching out for you, and then just turns to stone.
As he starts reaching out, she says, Arathius, you look a little...
Stiff.
so bad.
Stiffens all around.
Oh God,
That was even worse.
kind of.
Oh, I'm having a night.
As we tick around back to end of Agri's turn, unless anybody specifically wants to do anything, we'll just get the saving throws out of the way.
Yeah, I'm just going to go into the room to see if there's any other threat.
How do I heal them?
So Agri, you can feel your body starting to like stiffen and turn to stone, and then you just kind of like bear down, and you're like, no, I'm tougher than this. I can do this. It's not my time yet. And the feeling that resistance kind of passes.
Oh,
Well, that's a good thing, and that's less chipping for us to have to do because you're big.
And you guys, due to the rolls that you made earlier, you know that the bite of the cockatrice, it is a temporary petrification. And since Deacon got a critical success, rolled a 20, natural 20, generally it lasts about a day.
is it considered a disease or poison?
It is neither.
Is
Ouch.
there any way to shorten the duration? Any way to cure it before it runs its course?
Not that I'm aware of.
Well, I mean, theoretically, we chipped the other dogs out of them, didn't we?
You could
Did
try.
we, or did it run its course?
Seems awfully coincidental, doesn't it? That the 24 hours would run out just as we happened upon them.
We do have that kind of luck, though.
We do. That is true.
As they're discussing that, Deacon and Agri, since you guys are there, you see the statue of the dog and the statue of the troglodyte start to flake, and you can see flesh and fur underneath the stone.
All right. Heads up, people. We got 2 more.
Awesome.
I will let everybody can basically get like a round worth of attacks as they depetrify, and then we'll go into initiative. So
Sounds good.
an 8 will hit. And a 12 will hit. Are these all against the dog or
Troglodyte.
against the troglodyte?
Yeah, mine was against the dog.
Question, can they hear me while they're petrified?
They're starting to unpetrify, so you would assume yes.
Okay. I will tell the dog he's a bad boy. That is shitty damage.
Even you didn't believe it.
Even I didn't believe it. The dog did, though.
And Sophia.
Everybody took a wisdom. Not everybody needed to take a wisdom save.
Oh, that's because I had everybody selected. That's my fault.
I was going to say I didn't. But,
I was not insulting the entire party.
Sophia and Agrius are tied up trying to figure out the nature of who is and what is a bad boy.
At least I can avoid that bad roll for this one.
Yeah. 2, 3, 4. Okay, Sophia. She'll run in and back to this corner and take a swing at the troglodyte.
Okay.
Hey, Chris, can I use
With Pfeiffer's
Piercer to
hand.
reroll one of the damage dice?
You sure can, yes.
Just for 4.
It's been so long I completely forgot that Piercer lets you reroll some of the damage.
Same here. Now, how do I do that?
Okay, so you go to your inventory, and then you click on where it says spear. There's a bunch of roll buttons down at the bottom, so like roll, alt roll, attack, damage, versatile damage, so on and so forth. If you hit the one that says damage, it should roll it for you. Oh, 7 damage.
Hmm. Cool. Learned something new.
Alrighty. That is everybody. So now everybody can roll initiative.
Yay, troglodyte night. I go last.
Oh, that was a shitty initiative roll.
The dog is going to attack Deacon. So yeah, the dog snaps at you 2 hands, but it's still kind of shaking off some of it and kind of gets in its own way. One misses you completely, and the other one just like glances off your shield.
Excellent.
That will bring us to Sophia. The troglodyte is looking very badly damaged, by the way.
I'm going to try to finish damaging him.
Okay.
Take another swing at his upper torso with the hammer, hoping to kind of knock it off the rest of him. But maybe not with that roll.
Not with a 9, no.
Dun, dun.
Deacon is up.
I will stab at thee again.
Oof.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, as it's like getting ready to lunge, you like drive the spear like deep into its sternum, and it kind of pops out the back and near the spine. It is gravely wounded from that.
Wow. It's doing better than I as the human would. I'd be like totally dead.
That'll take us to Helena.
Okay, so they're both still alive?
They are. The troglodyte is definitely on his last legs, and the hound is bleeding heavily and having difficulty standing.
Literally, someone please sneeze on the dog.
The dog's
I will
dog's a little bit better off than a sneeze, but
look at the dog and go, bad dog! Oh, sorry, I did not mean to roll that twice. Bad dog. I don't know if it's enough damage to kill it, but
so yes, the dog kind of looks at you confused, and as it does, it seems like every time it's moving, more blood is just leaving its body, and it just kind of collapses. That will bring us to
I
Agri.
love it when I insult something to death.
Well, that'd be much better too if you had like a rolled up newspaper.
Yeah, so Agri's gonna produce flame and
Oof. Against all odds, the troglodyte is still alive. So it is going to attack Sophia with a bite and claws.
Oh no.
So like snaps forward with its jaws, and you kind of reel back, and it brings the claws across, slashing you for 5 damage.
Oh,
But you kind of spin out of the way, and you get your shield up between the other claw that's coming in.
good thing.
You're up.
Am I able to get away from them without getting hit again?
You
Or are they getting
can
an attack of opportunity?
you can use your action to disengage, which means you don't take attacks of opportunity.
But I can't do anything else.
Correct. The dog is dead. So
Oh, okay. What just took a swipe at me?
the troglodyte.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's barely hanging on to.
Yeah, Sophie's in the same situation.
If I were you, I'd swing at it, put it to rest. If nothing else, I can come after you and finish it off.
That's true. Yeah, I think she will.
Yeah.
She'll at least make a try.
It's like it was meant to be.
It's only 3 damage, so I don't know if it was meant to be.
So yeah, for a brief second, Sophia is like, "Should I run or not?" And then she like looks down at her father's hammer, grabs it, and slams it into the chest and drops the troglodyte. And you can feel somewhere, whether you like it or not, your father would be proud of that.
Yeah, probably. But if it drops, Sophia will stagger backwards into that little corner and kind of lean back against the wall, slide down to the ground, and one leg is just red from the biting that she's taken on it. I think I should heal a bit before we go.
Agri walks over and puts his hand on the wound.
You beat me to it.
I was trying to remember if Agri's ever done healing on someone before.
He has.
Well, now you know.
Yes, that's much better. Thank you. Does anyone else need healing?
I'm
Is
good.
everyone else fine? Everyone else is fine.
I think you're taking all the damage.
It seems that way. I need to. Maybe I should start using my bow again.
Except for her Arathius, who we're not quite sure how to unfreeze.
It'll
In a
take
perfect world, I could give you a thumbs up, but I cannot.
If they look at you at the right angle where you were kind of reaching out, maybe it looks like it's a thumbs up.
Yeah, maybe.
We like bend a bit.
Yeah, I
Squint.
just regret that I know I didn't have enough time for a full sentence, so I can't say something like, you have this effect on me.
So bad.
Right?
So I'm gonna test the theory, and I'm gonna take my dagger and just. I'm not trying to hurt Arathius. I'm just trying to see if I can chip the stone away.
Probably better with a hammer.
You can chip like a little bit. I assume like it's someplace around where his clothing is, because weird thing in D&D, your clothing petrifies when you do. And like you chip away like a little bit of his like one of the spikes off of his studded leather or whatever. And it is stone through and through.
Okay. So it was just dumb luck that they unpetrified as we walked in.
Possibly, yes. It's about 24 hours.
We cannot chip away at the stone without harming Arathius.
I believe that is correct.
So we should probably clear that other room and then wait.
Well, the rest will benefit us all, I believe.
Well, let's make sure the corridor to like this corridor at the end here is safe, and then.
Oh yeah, well, we'll move into that next room, don't you worry.
So the words that every party likes to hear is, what's the marching order?
I'm first.
I guess I will go behind you because I have the light.
That would be lovely.
So, Deacon, as you kind of like peek into that room, with Helena's light behind you, you do see two more of those giant chickens kind of pecking about, and two dog statues. The dog statues, though, they do look like one of them's got like a head busted off, and the other one looks like it's got a big like gouge taken out of it.
You know, you'd think they'd be kind of upset over the cockatrices, I'm just saying. Okay, people. Try not to get bit.
So everybody can roll initiative for what should be the final fight before you guys get a chance to rest.
Deacon's just too busy shaking his head at not these things again.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm like, what the oh, fuck.
Helena is up.
All right. I will look at the one on the left, I guess. And you stupid ugly fucker, why can't you just die? I hurt its feelings.
You did. It looks at you confused. That will take a sagri.
So I have discovered skata is shit in Greek.
Oh, there you go. It explains where the term scat comes from.
Akri's gonna
Yes.
Very much
Funny
so.
how that works.
Akri's gonna move, so he has line of sight with one of the cockatrices, and then attempting to cast produce flame.
Okay. Oof.
I'll attack the same one that was hurled an insult a moment ago.
So you launch this little ball of flame. It explodes and it like engulfs around the cockatrice. It's looking pretty badly damaged from that. This one is going to come forward and try to bite Deacon since he's in the way. Ah, come on. Ooh, 20. That will actually just hit Deacon.
I know.
So for 5 damage and a con save.
Oh, okie dokie. Really?
So you feel that same stiffening feeling, and you can see like gray starting to like wash through your clothing and over your skin.
Yeah!
It's a shame the bard can't give you advantage rolls on saves.
Yeah.
Sophia, you are up.
Nice +6 right.
This again. This time she is going to pull out her bow and try to shoot it because she's had quite enough of taking damage from being up close. I think I do need to move quite a bit though to get to a point where I can see it. So I'll tuck in between.
Yeah, you can definitely see it from there,
I
and
agree with Matthews.
yeah, and from there you can also see the grayness starting to overtake Deacon.
Oh no.
Deacon has a far better chance of passing it than the horse that did and the me that didn't.
Yes.
Oh.
The other cockatrice is going to move forward, but it can't quite get at Deacon because of the angle of the door and the fact that its other one is right there.
Area effect spell.
That's why, like, every D&D party ever, when you get to 5th level and your wizard can bust out Fireball, you're like, oh, thank God. Deacon, you're up.
All right. Well, I still have movement. I guess I'll stab at the one in front of me.
Okay. You are technically restrained, which gives you disadvantage on your attacks, and you cannot move.
Okay. Doesn't mean I'm not going out without a swing.
That's right.
Ha!
What do you want to stab, the one right in front of you or the wounded one?
The wounded one, which I thought was the one right in front of me.
No, the wounded one was a little bit further back, and then it moved in.
Oh, okay. We'll hopefully kill that one. Kill it. It's burned.
Not quite, but it is very, very injured now. It's like one of the wings is hanging loose. You don't think it could fly anymore if it wanted to.
Excellent. Very injured is good.
And Constitution save at the end of your turn.
All right. Take that now.
Yep. So yeah,
And mighty.
yeah, you just needed to limber up. That's all. It wasn't petrification. It was just, you didn't do your exercises this morning. You're fine.
Yeah, didn't get enough stretching in. I totally get it.
Helena is up.
I look at the same one that I hollered at before. Just die, you ugly motherfucker. Yeah, it's heard it before.
Been there, done that.
Yeah,
I think its ears got burned off. It's probably a thing.
probably.
That could be as well.
Totally. So yeah, speaking of ears burned off, Agri's going to try for the one exactly in front of Deacon at this point.
Okay.
And hurl a produce flame.
Yeah, that just like scatters wide. There's a momentary concern for Deacon as you saw him moving a little slower than usual, and it threw you off.
What are the odds it would hit one of the statues?
Ooh, that one is going to bite deep into Deacon for 7 damage and a con save. So yeah, so the one that just ducks out of the way of the fire, just like grabs and like bites something that feels like it's important. You like feel like maybe like it tore some tendons or something.
Yeah, but screw you.
Sophia is up.
Yeah, Sophia's had quite enough. The cockatrice you can see right in front of Deacon, is it wounded?
No.
Good God. We're doing well.
The one to the angle is.
Okay.
Yeah.
The one that's there in front of Deacon, she's going to try to use Guiding Bolt on it. Guiding wanted. Yep. We'll see how it does against Radiance. We'll see if I can hit it.
Oh yeah.
Good. Because I've had enough of this nonsense.
So yeah, so this bolt of radiant energy just streaks over Deacon's head into this thing, and it just like lights up, and all of you get like this instinctive knowledge as to like kind of like where it's going to be moving next and what its trajectory is and its speed and everything that you need in order to like hit it with pinpoint accuracy. That cockatrice still can't attack Deacon. Deacon, you are up, and your attack has advantage.
Okay, of the two in front of me, who looks the most wounded?
The one to your left looks the most wounded.
All right, then I'll attack the one in front of me.
Okay. That's the one that you have advantage on.
Excellent. Advantage, you say?
Yep. So yeah, 24 definitely hits. So yeah, as you kind of zero in and you can feel like almost like a divine hand kind of guiding your spear into it, and striking true. Not quite enough to drop it, but it is definitely floundering.
Okay, so right now, I'm going to also use Second Wind.
Okay.
Because hopefully we'll be sleeping soon.
Here's hoping.
So I'll gain 7 back.
Yep. So realizing that this fight is almost at an end, and knowing that this is like the end of the corridor, and you can definitely get into that room, kind of camp out a bit, kind of reinvigorates you. It's like, okay, we just got to push through this. That'll bring us to Helena.
We also have dogs to kill.
Speaking of which, at the start of the turn, the two dogs, you do see the stones start to flake off. But then the one that's missing a head, it's just like this like spurt of blood, and it drops, and the same one with the big gut wound.
That's convenient.
Yeah,
I am going
nice.
I'm gonna shoot my crossbow at the one in front of Deacon that I have advantage on.
You don't, because it's only the next attack against him.
Oh, okay. That's fine then. I'm still gonna shoot him.
Okay.
See if it does anything more. No, it does not.
Twing!
It goes far.
But yeah, seeing these dogs kind of like get depetrified and what happens to them makes you all very, very glad that you did not try to chip the stone away on Arathius.
Yes,
Mm.
yes, I am.
A teaching moment.
A teaching moment. That will bring us to Agri.
Well, hopefully this one will connect. Yay.
Oh yeah.
So the both of them now look like they are very much on their last leg. Yeah, they're like feebly trying to like scratch and claw at Deacon. To not much avail. Sophia.
Well, Guiding Bolt certainly was more useful than anything else she has done today. The cockatrice directly in front of Deacon, how wounded does it look?
Very.
Sneeze on it.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to cast a cantrip on it.
Okay.
I'm going to cast Sacred Flame.
Muhaha.
So yeah, so this radiant flame erupts around the cockatrice and it shrieks and it shrivels. And it is now little more than skin and bones barely clinging to life. That one in the corner can't get around. Deacon.
All right, I got two in front of me that are really half dead, right?
Much more than half dead.
I'm going to use my 2 attack maneuver.
Okay.
All right, roll number 1 for the one directly in front of me.
That one is very dead.
Very dead. I like very dead.
Like your spear goes like all the way through it and out the other end. It was like nice rotisserie chicken.
So I pull back and immediately drive it into the other one on my left-hand side.
Okay. That is exactly enough.
Excellent.
So, yes, the final flurry of activity. It is all quiet and still.
Does anybody know how to prepare chicken?
Are the
Easy. Go ahead.
is there anything else around that we need to work for, or should we set up a
So
space and get some rest?
So yeah, this looks like it. There's a couple of half-eaten troglodyte corpses. There's the cockatrices and the dogs that are now dead. There's several wooden racks, long rotted, that look like they may have been the sort of thing that you would hold weapons and armor on, but they are empty and rotten.
Well, strategically, this looks like a fairly good spot. We've seen, I think, everything that's you've got. There's been no other weird accesses, so I think this is a very defensible spot.
And whoever's on watch can see Arathias from the door.
Well, we could probably move them.
Do we want to take the chance of breaking him?
Well, I suppose nothing's going to disturb him if something does come for us.
Right.
With that in mind, I'm going to drag the carcasses of the dead animals out into the hallway. That way, that if something is coming for us, they'll have fresh meat to kind of feast on, and we'll get a warning that they're here.
Gotcha. Yep, not a problem at all. So you guys drag the corpses out for any beasties to eat. It is a very defensible location. You can definitely keep an eye on Arathius from where you are. You kind of hunker down, have some rations, go like, oh, maybe tomorrow will be a better day, or maybe the mines are in fact cursed.
I sing a song. Not super loud, but
A sixpence?
sure, if that's what you want.
Let's do it. Who doesn't like blackbird pie?
So Agri's going to go ahead and use his last cure wounds on Sophia before turning in for the evening.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much.
And then, unless Deacon says otherwise, he'll probably take watch out by Arathius.
Yep, whatever you'd like.
Sophia's just going to get comfortable here at the end of the hallway. Don't like
Yeah.
sleeping in here.
I'm going to crash right where I am.
Hopefully not literally.
I provide good cover for people sleeping at the end of the hall.
Too true.
That's very true.
Before we go to sleep, I'm going to cast Prayer of Healing again. And that way everybody benefits from it. So 11 for everyone.
Excellent.
Yay.
There, everyone should be fine no matter what. And that way if something does attack us before we're done resting, then we're still more or less all right.
Cool. I'm at perfect health.
Excellent.
Right.
Long may you stay that way.
How would we like to order the vigil for the night?
I'm accustomed to waking early if you'd like. I think you and I both are, really.
Very
I can
much.
take a watch too.
Well, Agri's right there with Arathius right now, so why don't you take the first watch? And would Helena be willing to take the second watch?
I don't think she's at her keyboard right now.
Well, we'll pencil her in for watch 2.
Sounds good.
Pencil her in. We'll just have Arathius do it.
I mean, I was gonna say normally Arathius takes like the mid shift, but still.
That's a thing. So why doesn't Anyway, so why doesn't Sophia take the third watch? Since I'm always up stupidly early anyways, well, I'll take the last one.
Okay, we're dividing it up into pretty small sections. Everybody should get rested enough.
Yeah, I would think. If we spend our time trying to get like the 8, then we'd be looking at probably about 3 hours apiece.
And don't forget, I mean, you've got, about 24 hours or so until Arathius is.
Yeah, he's a statue.
So there's
That's
plenty.
true.
There's plenty of time for everybody to both keep an eye out and get fully rested.
Excellent.
Yay!
So during the evening,
Of course.
nothing comes to eat you, but in the wee hours of the morning, in theory, this should be around the time that Sophia comes to wake up Deacon. Only Sophia is also asleep.
I am.
You are, because
Oh
none
no.
A dream.
of you are elves and immune to things that will magically put you to sleep.
Oh.
I have a resistance, but I'm already a stone.
So,
Are we all were able to click our long rest though?
yes, everybody will get their resting.
Good.
But all of you are having your dreams, your normal dreams, dreaming of family or of previous adventures or life in the temple or frolicking with unicorns or whatever your normal dreams happen to be. And then it goes dark. And you hear a woman's voice emanating from the darkness. And it is deep and resonant. It says, so,
Almost godlike?
very much.
Yeah, like maybe my my people's god.
Your great quest begins. Off to become heroes. Mortals are so very proud. And a light shines in the dark, illuminating the sad and pathetic figure of a very old man who's been hogtied to a stake. Look at this one. He's falling to pieces, joints stiff, skin slack, teeth gone, the life practically dripping out of him. And an inky black shadow falls across him. And he flinches and he squirms and he panics as something draws closer, something that you cannot see. Yes, his sad, pathetic mortal life is leaking away. But I wonder what will happen to his soul. The old man kind of thrashes in his restraints and screams as a butcher's knife descends, and you all awaken, bathed in a cold sweat, realizing that this is not an ordinary dream, but this is a message from Lutheria.
Did anything about the old man seem familiar at all?
I can make a history check.
Sure.
Not a thing.
Not with that roll, nope.
Too bad you didn't have advantage.
Poor historian Deacon not knowing.
My only concern would be, is the man my father?
It did not look like your father, no.
All right.
There's 5 of you.
So we don't know if this is past, present, or future?
You do not know. So as you awaken, and for a short time after you awaken, as you kind of like are sitting there in your cold sweat, find my character list. Just go alphabetical. It's easier. So Agri, you were like as you kind of awaken, and you know you're awake, and then you see like this inky darkness in the shadows, and then you hear that voice kind of echoing around. Extremely, extremely vivid hallucination.
Lovely.
Deacon, you fall back into the mentality of like, if you just follow orders, if you just do what you're told, then you'll get through this. So that kind of like soldier mentality just kind of kicks in, and it doesn't matter who it is. You're just like, whatever somebody tells you to do, you'll do. It's the way that your brain rationalizes getting through this.
Sir, yes, sir.
Arathius would still be stoned, so the fact that he is babbling and incapable of normal speech is irrelevant.
Yeah, well, Mama Lutheria.
Yeah. And Helena and Sophia, both of you just kind of like, you just shut down and you are paralyzed with fear that you have drawn Lutheria's attention, and she is aware that you are starting to act.
Well, shit.
Well, on the plus side, we have to wait for, Erathius to be unstoned.
I'm guessing that probably doesn't make me feel better.
It does not.
True.
So,
I feel even more like the weak link.
Helena definitely does not have her wings going forward today.
Chris?
Yes.
Can I act of my own accord, or do I have to be told what to do?
No, you can act of your own accord, but just that soldier mindset of like, as long as I follow orders, everything will be okay.
Yeah, so if somebody tells me to do something, I'll go do it.
Yeah.
Following your destiny given by the Oracle could be seen as orders from on high.
Yeah. Conveniently, though, there are no enemies nearby to take advantage of your somewhat discombobulated state. And after about a half hour or so, your brain finally comes to grips with this idea, and you kind of like come to. It still resonates. You still remember the dream vividly. You still remember how the dream made you feel, but the compulsions are no longer there. Agri, your hallucinations start to fade into the woodwork. Deacon, you start to realize that you've proven yourself. You don't need to follow orders. You're capable of making those decisions yourself, and so on and so forth. And by about that time, Arathius is starting to like deparalyze.
Yeah.
You have this. I feel like time has passed.
Yeah, a whole day.
I did think that it wasn't going to strike quite as well if saying it now as when I was frozen.
Oh, it's okay. At least realize that we didn't want to try to injure you by trying to chip you out.
Oh, so that's what happened to my cuff collar here.
Sorry about that.
There wasn't a
Well, I mean, my clothing is amazing, but better my clothes than my face.
This is why I tested it on your clothes instead of you.
We're all out of our funk, Chris?
Yes.
There may have been some evidence with some of the creatures, 2 dogs especially, that, didn't survive reintegration with living humanity. And speaking of this room, I want to go over it.
So, did anybody else have horrific nightmares that may or may not have been actual nightmares?
I wouldn't say horrific. I mean, I saw the Lady of Dreams and Death. But, sometimes I dream of the Lady of Dreams of Death because of what I am.
Yeah, I don't usually.
Yeah, I will
Even
agree
my
with you.
nightmares usually involve, her brother, not her.
That was a bad set of nightmares.
Yes. Sophia will sort of a bit more subdued than usual. Walk up to Arathius and take a look at his sleeve. I think I can mend that for you.
That would be most appreciated. That would be grand.
I'll cast the mending cantrip.
Yes, heaven forbid someone should be poorly or shabbily dressed in a dungeon.
Precisely. Always be one's best, because you never know when you might have to meet your fate.
And get turned into a statue.
Or apparently you're gods.
Yeah.
Well, he did make a pretty statue.
I like to think I make a pretty everything.
So yes, the mending cantrip will definitely repair the damage to the outfit.
So what's in this back room?
It looks like at one point it may have been like a barracks or an armory. Probably more an armory. You don't see anything that would have been a bed, but you do see long rotted weapon racks and shield racks. This would have been where the dwarves kept their armaments. But there's nothing here of any value.
Cool.
I think I'd like to go.
Probably
We're
for
off.
the best.
Yeah, I don't want to stay here any longer than we have to, because
Well, we do have to finish here, and then we can
things see us.
change perhaps change the influence in the area. I see
Can
you.
Sophia do that?
Well, perhaps once we find the actual forge and kick it up again, it might start to banish it just from all the history of a different deity working it.
Ah. I was wondering if maybe Sophia had to bless things again.
I don't think so. I know the place is allegedly cursed, but I think that had to do with the three-headed dog. We'll see.
Yeah, the bargain that was made to bring it into this world and then unleash it upon the dwarves.
Although, personally, I would think that since it seems to be sitting dead here in this room that we're in, perhaps just maybe, there might be more to this story because, I don't know. I mean, all these years, yet it seems to be dead here, but it has offspring of some kind.
I wouldn't be surprised if the offspring were a twisting of the original deal, and that may have been what resulted also in led to the death of the parent.
What if it has a mate?
Well, we do have downstairs.
Yes,
That's a dreadful thought.
for all we know, the female of this species might
It's a species. They're just
Yeah.
normally from another plane.
erupt as it gives birth as opposed to just giving birth.
Do we know whether the specimen here is male or female?
I didn't investigate the corpse for genitalia.
Do we feel that that is a necessity?
I'd rather not look quite that closely at it.
I'm just operating under I'm not going to rule out Deacon's thoughts at all, but I'm just operating under the normal understanding that if you make a deal with the fates and you twist it, then bad things happen, which includes the death of the original Cerebus. Potentially. It could be the deal was twisted to create the offspring because they're not Cerberi.
No,
No, that's true. They're not.
Questions of a
technically, but
philosophical nature.
they're
Mhm.
technically not Cerberus, but did they?
They don't grow a
How
third
much
head as
do
they
you-
get older.
Okay, well that was my question. How much do you know about the life cycle of a Cerberus?
That would be an Arcana check.
I will admit to not knowing.
I'm asking the question, so I
Wow,
don't know.
how balanced. I'm so smart and I have a knack for this, and yeah, my rolls continue to be shite.
So you're not exactly sure what the life cycle of a Cerebus hound is. You do know that they are not natural creatures, so subscribing to them some sort of natural like life cycle or birth cycle is probably erroneous.
Yeah. I'll stick to my. They have 3 heads from the start. How they grow up, I'm not exactly sure. How they're born, I don't. I've never watched it. Okay. I just know that as a species, they're the keepers of the gates, and they're typically found in the Tartarus and the Hell realms.
Okay.
And as we've seen from our attacks on them, taking out one head doesn't cause it to sprout 2 more, so it's not like a Hydra.
So curiosity is about to kill the cat here, Chris. What kind of check would it be to investigate the corpse to see if it has had puppies or is capable of having puppies?
Let's call that I'll let you roll either animal handling or medicine.
Which one's better? My animal handling is slightly better. Apparently, it is not.
You're not sure, but since you are
No.
carefully examining this this giant hound corpse, it was killed by something really big.
Ooh,
Oh.
things
So-
people weren't meant to know.
It was likely not killed by exploding from its puppies. It was killed by something very large, likely larger than it, or
Tumor.
as large as it. So yeah, that's a thing.
Downward.
Do we
Seems to be
trust
the only
this
direction left.
elevator thingy?
The
Yep.
dumbwaiter?
I trust it far more than I trust trying to climb down.
Oh, yes. Remember, the dwarves do good work.
How are we all going to fit?
That is a question.
I thought it was a 10 by 10.
It is a tight squeeze in there for the 5 of you.
Well, Helena's only half, really.
Agri
I'm
gets to...
not that short. I am still considered medium.
Oh, we can stick you on, like, Agri's back.
I can float down above it.
And
Oh, my wings don't work today.
No, they don't. We'll just have you.
I can sit on top of it.
Chris, I'm in difficult terrain while I'm in here, just as an FYI.
Can I Yeah, I don't feel safe getting in the elevator.
Well, let's drop down by 1.
Okay. I don't trust it, but okay.
So it is a tight fit. I imagine you position so like Arathius is near the levers.
Yeah.
The one who would know.
So when he pulls the lever back, it starts to descend, and you can hear like the chains like running up and down through the metal, through the bronze. It descends, and it descends, and it descends, and it descends.
This is so not making me more comfortable in this.
And at the time that Helena says that, this thick, black, oily smelling substance starts to pour forth from the dragon mouths that are mounted in the corners.
Yep, nope, let me out. How do I get out?
Climb the sheer stone wall.
Do not tempt me, man.
So there's been no landing as we've been going down?
No. Everybody, I'm going to have to add you guys to a comment tracker. But everybody can roll some initiative.
Shit.
Well, that's not what I expected.
Nice to see I'm fitting in with everyone else.
I have an excuse.
You just woke up?
Yeah, I'm so weak. Yeah.
So yes, so you guys have traveled down, and then this on initiative count 20. So this thick black oily substance starts pouring forth from the dragon mouths in each corner of the room. Deacon, what would you like to do?
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I would like to take a hand axe and try to sever one of the dragon heads that's spewing shit.
All right, make an attack roll. It is at disadvantage because you guys are all crammed in here, but the armor class for it is fairly low. So. All right. So yeah, so you basically take your hand axe and you like whack, and you don't sever it, but you do manage to basically bend it enough that it closes off where the goop is flowing out.
Excellent. Everybody smack a head.
Helena, you are up.
I'm not very good at that. I cast Comprehend Languages and I start looking for clues. This is obviously a trap.
Make a perception roll. So you mutter under your breath, you cast Comprehend Language, you start looking around, and you do see what looks like might be some writing on one of the walls, but because everybody's crammed in here, you can't get to it. Because for Comprehend Languages, in order to read script, like something that's written, you have to actually touch it, and you can't quite get into a position to touch the writing to comprehend it.
Okay. Do I still have a movement?
In as much as there is movement available in there, yes.
Okay, I will try to push my way through to be able to touch the... Like, I will, like, crawl under legs and maneuver.
Okay, give me a acrobatics check.
Sure. Fuck me.
Yeah.
Oh, fine.
You just can't. You can't quite get to it. Just like you're almost there, and then like the elevator kind of jostles a little bit, and like you almost get stepped on by Agri, and then you almost get kicked by Deacon, and you're like you just can't get there yet. Sophia, what would you like to do?
So nothing in here is in a language I can read.
No.
Okay. In that case, I will take the hammer and try to crimp one of the throats that's spewing things into this room.
Okay. Make a to hit roll. Again with disadvantage, but
Nope.
Nope. People are in your way, and you just can't get the leverage you need.
Try not to hit you in the face.
Arathius.
They don't count as creatures, do they?
They do not. It's the drawback to Eldritch Blast.
Yeah, that's just. Well, I'll take my action to summon Pact of the Blade as a Warhammer.
Okay. Agri.
You see the most awkwardest transformation ever as Agri turns into a rat. It's considered tiny, Chris.
Okay.
And I jump onto whoever's closest his shoulder and hope I don't take damage.
Perfect. I'll just move you out of the elevator map, just so people. There is now much more room in the elevator for moving around and stuff.
Probably my shoulders, because I'm like physically crawling on the floor trying to touch the wall.
Initiative 20 of the next round. You guys can hear the roar of fire. Deacon, what would you like to do?
Well, since there's a little bit more room, I'd like to get another one of those dragon heads severed.
Okay. So make an attack roll, but not at disadvantage.
Okay. So after chopping one with the hand axe, I'm pretty sure I can figure out how to spear it.
Okay. You could also you could use a dagger or anything, anything with any piercing weapon will trigger your piercing ability. So.
Yeah, sadly I don't really have that other than the javelin, but we'll use that when things happen.
Right. So yeah, so you do manage to basically jam the spear in and kind of use it almost like a lever to kind of pop the head out of position.
So that'll take care of one side.
Helena, you're up.
Am I able to touch the writing now?
You are now.
Okay, I touch. What does it say?
In Dwarven, it says.
Also, Agri's rat is welcome on my shoulder.
Yay.
So the word that reaches into your mind is dragon in the Dwarvish language.
Okay. I keep reading, and I say dragon, and I'm translating as I'm going.
Okay, it's just the one word.
Okay.
Do you actually speak Dwarven?
I don't actually speak Dwarven. I'm only able to translate.
So give me let's call it a performance check.
Oh, that I can do.
Can you mimic the Dwarven?
Can you fake it till you make it?
I think I can.
Okay. All right. So Helena is basically running her hand over this this like very faint script in the wall, this like runic language, and seems to be like trying to figure out the almost like reading something phonetically.
I'm sounding it out, guys.
And so kind of like sounding it out like syllable by syllable.
Klaatu, Barada, necktie.
God, no.
Oh
Or like
god.
how we did,
Um,
or like how we discovered that Skata is shit.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And then as she goes through like various like kind of phonetic pronunciations, trying to get like the right sounds, suddenly the oil stops flowing, and you no longer hear the roar of flames.
Woot!
I found the password!
Speak, friend, and enter.
Yeah, apparently.
Ooh.
Speak dragon and turn off the fire.
Who builds this sort of ridiculous thing into something they
Dwarves.
use every day?
Yeah, dwarves.
They've got the password written on the wall if you speak Dwarven.
That's true, I suppose.
Dwarves.
Shame I only speak Elven as my other language.
I speak Thieves' Cant, Celestial, and Common.
That's a very curious combination. Of course, I speak Abyssal and Draconic and Infernal and Primordial. So, who am I to judge?
Really,
Yeah.
though?
Heaven
Jeez.
forbid people actually speak like Earth-type races.
Yeah. Come
In
down
my
off your high
defense-
horse, Miss Trucking with the exterior planes.
I
In my
grew up-
defense, sirens are considered celestials. So
well,
it's a
then
native
you
language
and
for
I
me.
we can, at some point, come up with interesting things to refer to everyone else.
Exactly.
I look forward to never understanding what you're saying.
I may have some
I will
interesting
deliberately
so we're-
not learn comprehend languages. That may be the truth. I'm not going to confirm or deny.
So the elevator descends a little bit more, and then it stops. There's a little bit of a shudder, and there's like a ding, like a bell, and then the door opens into a corridor.
Ooh, that's not ominous.
That seems to have been deliberate. We don't
We're
seem
here.
to have touched anything strange.
Rat Agri jumps off.
We're here, but where here is that's the
Several
question.
yalms beneath the surface.
looks like the only way the only way is forward, so
Actually, there's two slit branches.
my light's not there yet.
I can see.
Once everybody moves out, then Agri will go full horse.
Dark vision.
So yeah, you do get to a point where it looks like it branches kind of like north south. And to the south you see a very, very definite glow of fire.
Ah, the forge is there.
Yeah, maybe.
It looks like, but the north looks like a room.
Also, Full Horse sounds like a awesome B-movie action flick.
Everybody,
They thought they had everything under control until he went full horse.
Oh yeah!
No horsing around now, guys.
Oh, play a little Ode to Joy in the back.
That's terrible.
everybody knows you never go full horse.
That's how you don't win Emmys.
Oh God. Is that an armory? Or is it a little
Well,
blacksmith shop?
let's look it out.
The room to your north is lined with iron racks that hold weapons and armors. Almost all of the racks have been tipped over. The weapons are broken or corroded. But you do see one short sword kind of half buried under the refuse that is immaculately shiny.
Ooh.
Sounds
Hey,
like
look,
Mithril.
there's
Shiny.
Nothing else down here has been that shiny unless it was Mithril.
And Mithril
in the
apparently is
ring.
even covered in shit. So
Mithril is, yes, right. We
I'm
did.
well aware of that.
We
Yeah,
did
we're all
fetch
aware of that.
from a privy, right? Oh,
I'm sure if
That-
we hadn't bathed when we did, they would have known 3 realms over.
it has been an interesting dungeon. Let's just put it that way.
So yeah, it is. When you kind of like pull it out, it is a mithril short sword, Zephos. So that kind of like leaf bladed Greek short sword. It is very light, due to the fact that it seems to be constructed of mithril with like a leather wrap around the handle, and seems to be exceedingly sharp.
So better than the one I have.
Definitely better quality than the one you have. Yes.
If no one objects, I would like to upgrade my arsenal.
Yeah, I don't see
Feel
any
free.
reason to say no. You're
Go ahead.
not at
I
this
do not
time.
object. Considering I mostly insult people to death, no, I don't object.
I mean, I'd only really have an interest if it was one of the designed to, pierce between dragon scales, because I gotta deal with that asshole.
So yeah, so I added it to your character sheet there, Jeff.
Thank you.
So yeah, it is exceptionally well made, well balanced, light. You could probably throw it a short distance, moderately accurately, but the edge on it is quite keen.
Good to know. I will offer my older Xiphos to anyone who would like to take it if they need a backup weapon.
I'm good.
I appreciate the offer, but I'm not competent in blades that aren't attuned to me.
I agree. I'll totally take the opportunity.
Excellent. I give the Xiphos to Agrius.
Oh, hey.
So you should actually have, Jeff, on your character sheet, if you right click, you should have a send to player option, and you should be able to just give him the item. So as Arathius and Sophia, as you move forward, there's a large pool of lava in the middle of this room, giving off a glow and significant heat. You do see that there is something swimming underneath the bubbling magma. There's an ornate bronze sphere standing very close to the lava pool, supported on 4 legs, that has a spout that faces towards the lava. And you do see 2 more of those 2-headed dogs, but they're just kind of laying there. They look up at you and they like let out this low growl, but they don't get to their feet.
They are not the alpha animal in this room. Something has taught them to not just react.
Let's see if we can find what that is.
My
So
guess
for the
would be it killed their mother.
For the first time ever, Chris, I'm casting Armor of Agathis on myself.
Okay. You do see it. Hard to make out. There's not a lot of kind of like loose moisture in the room, but this ice starts to form over Arathius's body. And oddly enough, does not melt from the heat. Does not give off any steam.
Sophia looks a little disturbed at first because it reminds her a bit too much of him turning to stone, but
And from the pool of lava, this large, almost serpentine creature made of, you're pretty sure just made of pure fire and lava, just kind of like circles up like coming out of a swimming pool to the center of this pool of lava.
oh dear.
I don't suppose you're the guardian.
I am not the guardian. I am the keeper of the forge.
Ah. Did Vulcan tell us to mention something to the keeper?
I do not remember what that was. Or at least Jess doesn't remember. Helena might, but Jess does not.
I'm looking through my notes, but I don't see anything.
Vulcan.
And Arathius will even say that.
With a 19 total, you know, that Vulcan would tell you that at one point that the mines forged great weapons and artifacts during the war. And he would join you in the Mithril mines once you rekindled the forge.
Forge keeper.
Yes.
I need to learn more about the artifacts I'll need to be the bane of evil dragons. The Oracle tells me that you're one of the few sources of knowledge.
I have crafted many weapons for many a slayer in my day. But I am currently unable to assist.
Why is that?
I am bound to this place. I wish to be free.
Bound by what?
I was summoned here long ago, bound within the forge. My name inscribed upon a tablet that the keepers used to bind me. They made me power the forge, aid Vulcan in his crafting. Until my tablet is destroyed, I must follow the contract for 5 centuries.
What would you do if freed?
I would return home.
Isn't 5 centuries coming up?
I do not know.
I imagine it would be soon, but how soon? That's, well, without knowing the exact time frame of the establishment of the forge, that's speculation.
So the Great Mithril Forge is powered by slavery?
The fires of an elemental.
You should not be surprised. Mortals always seek to control that they can.
No, not surprised. More of a disappointed.
To taunt me, they placed my tablet in the blast chamber. But I cannot leave this pool And she looks at the bronze sphere at the end. Says, "That accursed thing."
What is it?
Designed to punish me should I even attempt to leave the pool.
If I was to guess, I would say probably elemental water spout.
That seems kind of cruel.
Do you know why the hounds are more placid here? They've attacked us everywhere else we've been.
They guard the sphere.
I suppose that would prevent for any changes to the forge, which would still enforce the curse.
But perhaps I could make a deal if you were to acquire the tablet and bring it to me so it could be destroyed. I would rekindle the forge. And I do know ways of dealing with dragons. And in gratitude for my release, I would willingly stay here for a year and a day.
Rathius really, really looks like he just wants to say yes, but is holding himself back and looks at the rest of the party.
Oh, Helena is down for that.
Hopefully a year and a day would be long enough.
It should be more than long enough with what fate has in store for us.
Like,
Enough.
if they can't power their magical forge by other means, then
Well, I don't think the dwarves will be able to fully reclaim it in that length of time regardless. However, it would provide the opportunity to forge some tools and weapons we need for both our fate as a collective group and my fate in particular.
yes.
Do you need to keep the fires burning, or are you more like a tinderbox? Just the spark to get things started.
I am required to start the forge and periodically to fuel it.
If you had your freedom after the willing year and a day, what sort of payment would you look for if it needed to be rekindled? Just in case.
I do not know. I've never had a mortal ask me.
Oh, that does make it a bit awkward then.
Well, I suppose you do have some time to consider at least. And if you were so willing to actually strike a deal, I believe we could get at what Sophia's hoping to be able to potentially get at.
It is nice to be asked.
I would imagine so. Where is your tablet again? It was at the back of a...
And it kind of reaches out and it points, and you see it in its hand. It's holding like this fiery trident, and it points down this corridor.
Okay. The one I was slowly inching towards and watching the dogs.
And as you start to move, the dogs move into like a more guarded position around the sphere.
Apparently, we may need to take those out first.
Maybe, maybe not. We're not looking to damage.
I'll pause there to see if it lunges towards me or if it stays against the sphere.
No, they
Never mind.
Yeah, they kind of circle around the sphere, like very protective of the sphere. But as you kind of like glance down that highway, you see something massive and three-headed.
Yeah, there's a I call back. Yeah, there's another Cerberus. The more than one theory is in place.
And it speaks. The three heads in unison say, like,
Oh,
step forward, mortal. The Forge Keeper has nothing to offer you.
And what do you have to offer, Child of the Depths?
If you leave, I offer your lives.
I'm certain that the Great Lady of Dreams and Death has relayed that we don't have that option in our hands anymore. Our fate says otherwise.
besides, that's no fun.
Fate. I was fated to die with my brothers and sisters, but instead I consumed them and grew stronger.
With, as in all times, fate calls and claims, your placement here was from a deal with the fates themselves as well.
And I still honor that deal. No mortals are allowed within the chamber. And it kind of draws itself to its full height, and it is about 18 feet at the shoulder. And out of its, like, as it's kind of dropping, like, you know how dogs will sometimes, like, drip saliva?
Yeah.
It's dripping, like, molten rock that is, like, sizzling and then solidifying as it hits the ground.
So I suppose under these circumstances, the merest technicality which does potentially render me mortal is enough for you.
Absolutely.
Alas. I can't see if anyone else has started making their way. I hope to God that they're nearby. Because I'm pretty sure I'm about to eat it. I mean, I'm technically on the threshold of the room, but that doesn't make me feel much better.
I am slightly behind you.
Yeah, my cone of vision is literally the hallway, and it's to here and
I'm
here.
maybe like,
So I can't tell if the rest of the party has moved at all.
Yep.
Other
we
than
have.
Sophia not being in that spotlight area anymore.
So it kind of, like, steps forward, and as it moves, the size of this thing is impressive.
So mote it be, servant, guardian, protector. It is time for your fate to come. Eldritch Blast!
I will let you get off your Eldritch Blast, and then we will start the initiative.
The high pitched terrified.
Right? Because I know what my roll's going to look like.
So
Valid.
you fire off the Eldritch Blast, and it goes wide, and this creature just kind of smiles, like all three of the heads smile at you.
Guess that's not.
But Rathius doesn't seem unnerved by the miss, because eventually. See.
Josh is upstairs with the youngest.
I tried to talk it out. Unfortunately, there's a deal with a Titan in place, so it's not like I could have actually talked it out.
No, the Titan probably has a bit more sway.
I'm working on that.
Okay. Helena, you are up.
Okay. I am going to cast Bane on it. So it has to make a charisma saving throw.
Like so?
Yeah, son of a bitch.
It's sucky at charisma, but apparently not quite that good.
Yeah. If only the save was at disadvantage.
If only, right?
All right, Arathius, you're up.
Well, to make room and hopefully prevent Cerberus from blocking, I will move over to here before my next attempt at an Eldritch Blast.
Oof. So you move into position, you fire off your Eldritch Blast, and this time the Fates answer your call.
Nice.
The heads kind of snap in your direction. It's like, insolent mortal.
Well, that's why I signed the deal, to be insolent and mortal.
Deacon.
I'm gonna move up a smidge to here, and then I'm gonna shout the word "ooh la la," and I'm gonna unleash my javelin of lightning at it.
Dexterity save, I believe.
Oh, man.
At least that wasn't an attack.
Yeah.
So you fire off the javelin of lightning. The javelin sinks in, but it gets the bulk of its body out of the way of the lightning blast. Still takes some singeing on the fur, but is largely unaffected by the lightning.
Okay.
But hey, it was ranged love.
It was.
The Forge Keeper, seeing an opportunity when it presents itself. So, Sophia, behind you, it feels really, really warm all of a sudden. As the Forge Keeper just basically just kind of like rises up out of this lava pool and then brings that flaming javelin down through the two-headed dog beside you.
Okay.
And it kind of like, and it shouts out in this booming voice, like, "Free me, mortals, and you will have my gratitude."
Working on it.
Sophia is up.
Yeah, she'll kind of keeping her eye on the dog down the hall, kind of turn her head back toward the guardian or the elemental.
Forge Keeper.
Forge Keeper, and say, "Working on it." Let's see, what's the range? 120 feet. Oh, it's definitely within range. Okay. I'm going to cast Guiding Bolt, or try to. We'll see how well it goes.
I'm sure you'll cast it. It's just the after effects.
Whether it hits or not is an entirely different matter. We'll give it a try. No.
So the bolt fizzles.
Just like a 7 hit. Oh,
Shame, that would have been lovely damage.
would have been, right?
Agri is up if Josh is back.
Now he said that we can take his actions because the baby's not cooperating.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I assume Agri probably would have kept with the party. Oh, that's good.
Oh, god damn it. That is so much more useful as a spell.
Which?
Fairy Fire. I didn't realize how much more beneficial it is in 5th.
It's great in 5th. The only thing you gotta watch is it's not, it affects everybody in the area.
Yeah. Yeah, but when something's this big, a 20-foot cube can be put in Cerberus.
I suspect Agri would close and throw fire.
He's actually fast enough that he can,
Charge and rage.
He can charge and rage.
Nice.
It's another planar being, so, fire might not be as effective like lightning is.
Wow, that wasn't the lightning's fault.
Oh, wow. Damn.
Oh my.
Oh yeah, because he charged, the charge damage is also doubled.
Oh, damn.
So it's going to be, what's that? That's 12, 18.
That is sweet.
19 damage.
Somebody tell Josh we want to have Chris keep playing his character.
That's not nice.
Just
I'm
for the
glad
combat rolls.
Somebody knows how to roll dice tonight.
Yeah, the
This
same
is
person that's
definitely
been
not
rolling
me.
against us.
Yeah, sadly.
So Agri charges and lets out this blood curdling, rage filled scream and brings the scimitar down, biting deep into the Cerebus. The Cerebus is turned.
Oof.
Eep.
So that cone. So I am going to need.
Yep.
It is. Why is my... I went through all the effort of coding this in earlier, so I'm going to need dexterity saves from Arathius and Agri. One sec, I have to actually look up the creature.
Yeah, I was going to say it didn't show up.
Strength save, not so much.
Yeah, you accidentally roll a strength save for Agri.
His dex is actually worse.
Ah. Yeah, but he could roll better.
True. We will do it properly. Okay.
Yeah.
So go to my notes. It is a DC 15 dex save.
Damn.
Chris, I can only give him a
bonus
bardic
action,
Yeah, I can only give him a bardic inspiration on my turn.
Correct.
Okay.
So both of you are going to take 26 fire damage.
Well, good thing I
Ow.
gave myself some body armor.
Jesus.
And you're both basically, it breathes out like this, molten rock that hits you, burns you, and then solidifies.
The
Does
bright side is
Agri-
I can get out of that.
Does Agri get any resistance for raging?
Not to fire.
Okay. Just
So Agri drops.
okay.
Arathius doesn't. Because I had bonus HP.
The Death Dog. Death Dog is going to turn on the Salamander, so that fight's going to happen in the background. Back around Helena.
Okay. I am going to. I do not want to get close enough to that thing to heal Agri just yet.
Did back
I'm
up
gonna
after
try-
it did it?
No, I'm just trying to delete my spell template.
Ah, okay.
I'm gonna try Dissonant Whispers on it. Do the thing. Do the thing.
I
There we
wonder
go.
if the thing it's standing over is the blast chamber.
Probably.
It is.
So it needs to make a wisdom saving throw. Fuck
Jesus.
you.
It does still take half damage.
It does, at least.
Okay. And
I'm going to save those other 2 spell slots for Cure Wounds.
And I will get Helena and Sophia to give me perception checks. Okay.
God, cannot roll a die tonight.
So Helena, in the room where the Forge Keeper is, kind of that main central room, as you're kind of like going, oh, shit, and just kind of instinctively looking for like a perch or something as a siren.
Yes.
You do see that above the lava pool, there are, like those buckets that they use to dump the molten metal.
Yes.
There are some of those in those rooms. Arathius.
Well, that was fun. I think I'll use my bonus action for Misty Step.
Okay.
I will say that out loud to people in case it is useful. I don't know how, but out loud.
30?
Sorry, which information?
In the forge room, those buckets that they use for dumping over the molten metal into foundries.
Mm-hmm.
There are 3 or 4 of those buckets in that room filled with molten metal.
I will then fairy fire the back section of the Cerebus.
Okay. What sort of save is that?
Saving dexterity. Oh my god!
Yay.
Everyone has advantage against it. For a moment, I had the effect thing, I think, in my hand selected, but I dumped it. Hello?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna. Well, I mean, I wasn't gonna try. I was gonna not get angry in it because, well, obviously.
Yep. It's the only thing glowing. It's just the light is on the token, not the corner.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. And I'll then move.
Okay.
So then they'll have to actually pick targets, especially as I'm gonna start attacking from here.
All right. Deacon is up.
Okay. So it's all nice and glowy and stuff?
Yes.
And how?
Gonna come up next to, Agri or Agri's unconscious body, and I am going to lay some spear into it.
All right.
And of course, you roll the exact same on both. Good rolls, though.
Woot!
So you bring the spear into it, you're like, kind of looks at you.
Eh.
The Forge Keeper. It will finish off the other death dog. Sophia.
Sorry, what were you saying at the end there?
The Forge Keeper is finished off the other death dog in the back.
Oh. Good. I'm going to try guiding bolt again.
Okay.
against the dog.
You do have advantage as it's glowing with this greenish energy.
Yeah, I'm hoping to help keep that going. For a change, I didn't need it.
So yeah, so this energy just strikes out into this Cerebus Hound, causing it to glow even brighter, even if momentarily. Does not seem to be a death. Oh, there is. Huh. Didn't realize that the character sheet actually has like a roll a death save button. It automatically tracks them for you too.
Wait, Agri's doing death saves?
Yep. He went down hard with that breath weapon.
Oh, I missed that. Crap.
I would have went down pretty hard too, but if I had cast a spell for temporary.
Otherwise, I would have cast something on him, not the critter.
Josh says he's got potions on him if anybody wants to take a turn and pour one down his throat.
So the three heads are going to try to bite at Deacon, who stabbed it, who had the audacity. So the first one is going to hit for 10 piercing and 1 fire. And then the third one is going to hit for 15 piercing and 2 fire.
Total?
That is a total of 10, 25, 26, 27, 28 damage.
Nearly dead, still going.
Yikes!
We are around to Helena.
Okay, I'm gonna move up close enough to touch Agri, but hopefully close enough to stay the fuck out of its bite range. And cast Cure Wounds, just enough to wake him up. Just so he doesn't have to keep making death saving throws. Oh, and as a bonus action, I'm going to throw a Bardic Inspiration at Deacon.
Okay. Arathius, you're up.
Well, you know what that means. It's Eldritch Blast time. Ooh, 11. That's a better roll of the two of them.
Right. Deacon, you're up. You see Agri's eyes start to flutter as Helena has healed him ever so slightly. The Cerebus Hound is looking a bit wounded.
All right. Well, I'm going to do. Can I do like? Let me see here. Can I do the action surge and second wind in the same turn?
You can actually, because action surge does not require anything.
That is absolutely what we're going to do. A double stab with the spear, and then I'm going to try to frickin' heal.
Yep, those are both solid hits. Your piercing, you could re-roll the second damage if you wanted to, because you only rolled a 2 on it, but or is piercing only if you roll a 1?
Okay. Whoops, sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. Got it. All right. So yeah, so you take a couple of like good solid chunks out of this thing. It's starting to move a little bit slow. It's starting to kind of like paw at the ground, but it is still looking very mean and aggressive.
Okay. And now as far as second wind, it keeps telling me that it's run out of its designed attribute, despite the fact we had a long sleep.
There should be good now.
All right, 10 points.
Forge Keeper. Forge Keeper will try to get Sophia's the only one back there, so it'll get Sophia's attention, and it'll point at the sphere and says, "The sphere. Deal with the sphere." Sophia is up.
I'm not sure what he expects me to do with the sphere.
Throw a bucket of molten metal over the spout.
Oh, maybe. Okay. Where are these buckets?
They're stationed above. They're on like chains and pulley systems, so they can move around.
So looking up, I can see where one is.
Yep.
Okay. Trace the chain back to where it's, I assume, tied off someplace. Keep it stationary. And I will try to maneuver it close to the sphere.
Give me, let's call it an intelligence check.
This is really more her grandfather's thing. Check.
Oh, there you go. So yeah. So you kind of like quickly put two and two together, and figure out the right combination of chains to maneuver. And you kind of dump this molten hot metal onto the sphere. And there's a sizzling and there's a cracking. And then there is like a small explosion. The Forge Keeper just looks at you and says, "Thank you."
Turn my back to it when it explodes, since I've got a shield strap there. Just so it takes any possible shrapnel instead of, my face. Welcome. I'm guessing that's my turn.
You do still have movement.
Okay. I'll come into the room a bit.
Oh, hello there.
What the heck is that thing?
That's an agri.
That is Agri.
Okay.
Agri would like to have some hit points.
And transforming is one of the ways to do
Yep.
it.
So it is going to bite and it is going to claw.
That's a good claw. Oh, advantage, so it's a good bite too.
Yep. So yeah, so Agri just kind of like gets to his feet and just like basically the body kind of stretches and pops, and where Agri once was, there is now a very large brown bear.
I do appreciate that there's blood splatters based on where the creature was when it got hit.
Yeah, it's a mod called Splatter.
Ah,
Ah, the Cerebus.
unfortunately, that doesn't seem like something too appropriate for Star Trek. That is a significantly weaker hit.
So I'm gonna need Deacon, Helena, and Bear Agri to make dexterity saves.
If only there was advantage on those.
And
Remember-
that's gonna fucking suck.
I was going to say, remember, Deacon has Bardic Inspiration, but D6 isn't going to boost a 14 to a 15.
No.
So everybody is going to take 15 fire damage.
Okay.
I'm
Sorry.
at -2.
All right, so Deacon goes down.
15.
Yep. And that was a weaker hit. That's 2 1s, 2 2s, and a 3, and then a 6.
Helena, what were you concentrating on? Nothing.
My Bardic Inspiration,
Oh, that's not a concentration.
I think.
No, I think it just throws the concentration up because at one point you cast a concentration spell.
Okay.
Sorry, and who was taking the 15?
The 3 of them in the room.
The 3 of them in
Oh,
the cone.
Okay.
And as it does, the rock hardens around you, basically holding you in place.
That's why I chose to cheat it and Misty stepped out of it.
Helena is up.
Hey guys, I'm back. Sorry about
Yeah.
that.
No
No,
problem.
not a problem. It happens. It's Jess's turn, though.
Just to catch you up here, Josh. Who are you healing wounds on? Yourself?
Or Deacon, who's down, or Agri.
Deacon's out of reach.
Oh, yeah.
So you, Agri rage charged in, got a critical hit on the charge, which was awesome. Then succumbed to a breath weapon and dropped, got brought back up, and then turned into a bear and just got breath weaponed again, but is still a bear.
Woohoo!
Okay. I will move up and cast. I meant to cast that on Deacon.
So you need to make a
Wouldn't you have moved there knowing that you're too close to Cerberus?
Sure.
before you can move, you need to use your action to make an athletics check.
Oh, yeah, to get out of the stone.
Okay.
Because its breath weapon is molten rock that solidifies around you.
Fun.
Oh,
I don't know if that's good enough.
yeah.
15 is exactly what you needed. So it is your action, but you can move out of the rock.
Okay. So I didn't lose the spell then?
No, because you would have had to use your action to move. So you still have the spell.
Okay.
And now you're standing between a statue of yourself and a statue of Erathius.
Yeah, well.
Deacon.
Oh, no, it was mine because your initiative order's off.
Yes, thank you. Sorry. Erathius.
So as my move, I'll pull out my potion of healing and I'll Eldritch Blast it.
Okay.
13's better than my last roll, but it's still not going to be good enough. Damn.
Yeah. So yeah, 13 just bounces off of its hide. Deacon is up.
Okay.
So End of your turn, you can make a death save.
Oh, I thought it was healed for 7.
No, she
No.
never got the chance to because it took her action to not be turned to stone,
Oh, fair.
aka restrained.
Sorry. I tried.
Con check?
No, it's actually just a straight D20 roll. If you look at your character sheet up in your character portrait, you'll see like a little skull in the center of it. If you click that, it'll roll a death save for you.
Advantage, disadvantage, normal?
Normal. Okay. 1 success. So yeah, for those of you not familiar with 5th edition, if you drop, there's no negative hit points. Ever at the end of your turn, you make a death save. If you fail 3 times, you're dead. If you succeed 3 times, you're stabilized. If you roll a natural 20, you get back 1 hit point. And under normal rules, if you roll a 1, it counts as 2 failures, but I despise that rule, so I don't use it.
Cool.
The Forge Keeper. He's got a speed of 30 feet. He's got to reach at 10 feet.
Oh, isn't that nice?
That is convenient. So yeah, so the Forge Keeper, now that Sophia has basically dealt with the sphere, kind of like just this flaming salamandery type thing just kind of flows down the hallway, like across the wall, past Sophia. It gets very, very hot for like a split second as he passes by, and then lashes out at his tail at the Cerebus. Sophia, you are up.
If I use the prayer, what does that do to someone who has 0 hit points?
Everybody heals the amount, but prayer healing takes 10 minutes to cast.
Okay. All right. Can I get by?
You can get by him. Yeah.
Okay.
He technically counts as difficult terrain because you don't want to get burned.
Okay.
Hot.
Yes, do me fur. Can I have a brown patch? I would like to get just above Deacon.
Yeah, you can get to there.
Yep, to there. And then touch him and cast Spare the Dying.
Is Spare the Dying or healing?
Spare the Dying is a cantrip and is instantaneous.
Yep.
So I touch a living creature that has 0 hit points and he becomes stable.
Okay.
So that's what I would like to do.
Okay.
And that way we can stop this death save thing.
Not dying is good.
Not dead yet. I'm gonna be.
Big fan of not dying.
Big fan of not dying.
So a little flicker of divine energy flows into Deacon.
Not a lot, just enough.
Just enough so that his breathing stabilizes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just run my hand over his forehead and down over his head and say, I don't think Father wants you to die today.
That will take us to Agri.
All right. I'm gonna take a bite. And I'm gonna attack it with claws.
Okay. So you bite in deep and you rip a tremendous chunk of flesh out, like flesh and muscle out of this large Cerebus hound. It is looking really, really badly hurt. It's turn. Ooh, it gets a breath weapon back.
And in my best bear roar, I say, "Come at me!"
That was not what I wanted to see him roll, though, on that check. Oh, that's terrible.
Assuming that's me.
So that is going to be everybody that isn't.
Looks like Sophia's outside of it,
Uh,
judging by the coloring.
I am not in a purple space.
Sophia is just outside it.
It looks like Agri's outside, or Agri as well.
Oh, then I need to recenter because I was trying to get Agri because he bit me.
Yeah, I was gonna say you may have to give up Deacon to get Agri,
That's okay.
which might also mean giving up Sophia, but we're not sure.
So yeah, that would get Agri and Helena, but would miss Deacon and Sophia.
Nice save. Big save for the Siren.
Very nice save.
I am
How about
not
the-
getting fucking burnt again.
On the other hand, has kind of made his pace with being constantly charged,
Right.
which is a shame.
So it's going to be 8 fire damage to Helena.
Which still fucking hurts, and I'm still almost dead.
Yeah, but it's better than 16.
And
Right, which would make me dead.
And 16 to Agri, but he is still a bear.
Roar.
Okay, so now I'm angry, and I'm sorry, Deacon, but I'm gonna need that spell. Because now I'm angry.
Yeah.
That's okay.
We're gonna try
Pretty much
Dissonant
dead.
Whispers. And
Alright.
see if that does anything.
Good damage, but let's see that save.
Oh! Is there any way I can give him disadvantage?
There are very, very few ways to give something disadvantage on saving throws. But as your Dissonant Whispers reaches out, its heads, like, they look confused and like they're trying to figure out where this voice they're hearing is coming from, and they're like snapping at thin air. One of them like accidentally bites one of like the heads, and they are definitely like pretty messed up from all of this.
Good.
That will bring us to Arathius.
Well, if all else holds true, this should be the time. Nope. It's the time it keeps missing. I am terrible. But I'll use, yeah. Damn.
I think all of our dice are cursed tonight.
I did the most effective thing possible apparently in this fight by fairy firing that asshole.
Fairy fire has made a huge difference in this fight.
The fates know I only got one attack in of my own.
The Forge Keeper will kind of surge forward.
Oh, that tail. Oh, that tail.
And basically,
Delicious.
Yikes.
in Primordial, if anybody understands Primordial, and actually
I
the
do.
and the covering languages would still be up.
Yes.
So in Primordial, it's just like, you dare to work for those that would imprison me. You dare to keep me here, and it just like drives this trident through the Cerebus Hound, and then whips around the tail, and the tail basically slices through the necks and destroys the creature.
Yes.
Dun, 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 dun.
So how's everyone been doing, guys?
Can we just sit down for a
Oh
minute?
my god, leveling up.
Sophia is going to start her prayer of healing.
And I'm
Yeah,
gonna start
I'm-
singing.
I think I'll go join the party.
And she's going to, because she doesn't know if it's hurt or not, she's going to include
The Forge Keeper.
the Forge Keeper in it as well.
I was like, oh yeah, the corpse is over
Yes.
over something I think I need to get at.
Like you?
No, I deliberately moved back in,
Oh,
going, wait, I'm pretty
Tablet.
sure that's the blast furnace.
So as Arathius reaches down, you do find a stone tablet, with writing on it in the same language that was in the elevator.
I'd touch it if you'll let me.
Well, it's the Forge Keeper's name, so I would ask the Forge Keeper if it's okay if we knew his name.
I will take that, thank you.
Yeah, I'll just hand it over.
The 11 is for Deacon.
Oh, perfect. So yeah, the Forge Keeper takes the tablet and it just melts in its hand.
Yeah, he basically says, I'll take that, and Arathius just brings it over and goes, here you go.
So 11 healing to Deacon. Sophia begins her prayer of healing.
Are we gonna sit here for a little bit and I can
That's 10
start a
minutes.
song of rest?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's kind of kneeling with Deacon's head.
I say the moment it's like, I know that chant. The moment she starts that chant, you've got 10 minutes. Figure out what you're up to.
Pretty much.
So
Everybody gets an extra 6 on whatever else is done.
so as Sophia is beginning her prayer of healing, the Forge Keeper will look and say, I thank you. I could not have been freed without your aid, and I am true to my word. And it kind of disappears into the hole where Arathius, like the blast furnace, and basically in like 30-40 seconds, lava starts to flow into the forge area, around the room. The temperature shoots up dramatically.
Yeah, there's no loot to be found down that way, guys. Ooh, it's getting warm in here.
And then it comes back, and it is carrying a bundle. These are items that this hound has collected over time, and just kind of like opens up this bundle, and there's some coins, but what catches your eyes are these dark metallic trident and javelins. You recognize them immediately as adamantine.
Oh, wow.
And the material that it was bundled in. What sort of armor does Arathius wear?
Generally not ever since getting mage armor, because I can only wear light, and the spell's better, so I've just been wearing my nice clothing.
So it brings this and says, this This was crafted long ago for those who would go fight dragons. I believe this is meant for you.
I thank you, friend.
And it is a set of +2 studded leather armor.
Oh, wow.
And it kind of the way, like, it's not reacting at all to the immense heat that this being is putting forth.
That's doubly as impressive considering I'm nursing some not so minor burns.
Human sized?
It is human sized.
Well, thank you, my friend.
There are other weapons that you will need to fight dragons. I do not have the capacity. But the Gigans on the island of Yonder forged such weapons in the Great War.
Well, thank you for that knowledge. We'll definitely need that because we have to gather weapons to fight the Titans of Yore and the dragon.
I believe the weapons that the Gigans created would be of great benefit for such an endeavor. And as per our agreement, I will exist here for a year and a day. And then looks at Sophie and says, and then we will discuss payment. This is a new concept.
Cool.
She's busy praying right now.
I'm certain that we will relay that to certain people of interest so they understand how things are now in this new, different world.
There's
That's-
one other thing that you may find useful in the times to come. When you are ready, I will show you.
Certainly. I don't know about you, but I'm the rest of you, but I'm quite excited to find out.
I just want a really long nap.
We'll be able to do that soon enough too.
What about
Helen is just very into her song.
so the 10 minutes go by. Probably more than enough to heal everybody. So between Helena's song and knowing that you have vanquished one of Lutheria's servants and freed the Forge Keeper, there's a certain buoyancy to your steps now. Everybody feels invigorated. Almost like everybody hit 4th level in the process.
Yeah.
Do you still want me to roll the prayer of healing?
No, it won't matter. There's no
Okay.
more combat. You guys fought the boss. That's what I think it was like 2 sessions ago. You fought a creature and you're like, oh, that must have been the boss. And I was like,
No,
Oh dear God, no.
no, the Troglodyte King was most definitely not going to be the boss.
So he leads you back through the forge room, or she, I guess.
They.
Actually, specifically, it's a
Oh.
she.
Okay.
She leads you back through the forge room and then down the southern corridor, and then indicates a lever. And when you pull the lever, part of the wall opens up, and you see what looks like a dock.
Well,
Hidden behind the waterfall.
wow. This is amazing.
And then when you pull the other lever, stone plates move into position that divert the waterfall.
What?
So it's like it's very much like a hidden cove behind the waterfall and a dock. It's like, in times of old, the Dragon Lords would visit the forges, and they found this to be the most expedient way to do so.
Chris, with my with that labyrinth, where'd it go?
Labyrinthine Mind?
Labyrinthine vision? Labyrinthine mind? Sure. Would I be able to put together where, like, how this waterfall and the other one are connected?
It's the same waterfall. You already...
Well, yes, I
Yeah.
know that part.
We're actually down at like the water level as opposed to near the top of it.
But yes, so Sophia, you can quite easily kind of map out your relative position to basically other things that you know of.
Mm-hmm.
So you're pretty sure that you could navigate to this area if you needed to.
Okay.
But yes, so as you guys stand on this like hidden dock, as the everything raises and the water starts to spill around it, we will call it there since it's like 20 after 11.
Yes.
I got some armors.
So yeah, so there is the armor. There is 1 adamantine trident and 6 adamantine javelins. And a like handful of coins and stuff. We will assume for next session that you guys can make the trek back to Astoria without problem. So we'll pick up back in the city.
We have centaur friends that we can party with too.
Yes. For 4th level, we can roll hit points on Discord or whatever. The big thing at 4th level is you get to choose either a feat or an ability skill increase. If you choose ability skill increase, you can increase 1 ability by 2 or 2 by 1 to a maximum of 20. So you guys can decide what all you would like to raise or increase before next game. If you do something like if you raise your constitution to a point where you get more hit points, those are retroactive.
I'd have to take a look at some feats because otherwise I'm just taking the split stats.
Yep. The split stats are really handy if you have odd numbers on stats.
Yeah, you mean like my 11, 11, 13, 19, and 17?
Yeah. Your 19, the intelligence can't go up. It is always 19.
No. Yeah.
But
but my charisma can go to 18.
It can. And a lot of people take the ability skill increase because it buffs the main thing for your class.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly it. 17 to 18 is another +1 to my casting resistances and my Eldritch Blast damage.
Yep. So everybody can figure out what they would like to do for next game.
Sounds good.
And I'm impressed. I thought you guys might have a harder time with that boss, even with the help from the Forge Keeper.
Timely looking at my sheet and going, wait, that does this in this system? That's disgusting.
Getting that fairy fire off was a big thing.
Yeah.
Because that it was probably responsible for a good like 7 or 8 hits that would have missed hitting.